Greetings, everyone. So today is the day. It's Ages of Aenya Launch Day. I'm very excited about this. This is a day I've been waiting 10 years for, to share my world with the reading public. I've already had a number of beta readers read the story and go to Amazon, and they've given it really great reviews, so I'm very excited about that. It's currently standing at 4 out of 5 stars because there was one person who gave it a 1-star review, but that review I don't really trust as legitimate because the person reviewed it one day after the book was released, and it's impossible that they could have received the book and read it after only one day. It usually takes at least a couple days to get a delivery from Amazon, and there's no Kindle version, so you couldn't just download it. No Kindle version yet, but Kindle's coming. So here's the book in case you haven't seen it. Now there's 2 ways to get this. You can get this from Amazon, or you can get it from my site, nickalamonos.com. I do greatly prefer you getting it from my site. I actually earn more in revenue if you get it from my site. And also you can get it cheaper. It's roughly about $15 from my site, whereas on Amazon it's about 17 something. Another good thing, if you get it from my site, is you get this nifty map of Aenya. And what I like about this is that, unlike most fantasy maps, it's not a peninsula or an island or a continent in some obscure ocean. This is the whole world of Aenya. The fact that it's out, that you see that it's a planet, is one way that it's combining fantasy and science fiction. You can see here the different locations that appear in the book, like the One Sea, the ocean up over here, which is actually not really an ocean, it's a desert. This is one of the standout features of this world, is that there's only one great body of water, and most of the cities are fighting over this resource, and this is why Hedonia here is the most powerful city in this world, because they control the One Sea. And this is what is on the cover. It's the pyramid of Hedonia and the city of Hedonia that Thalana is overlooking. And up here in the corner, either you can see Ilmarinen. This is where the Ilmar are from. It's surrounded by forests and mountains, which is why it's been isolated for thousands of years from civilization, which is why the people who live there live differently. That's why they don't wear clothes, because they haven't seen clothes before. So in their world, nudity is common. So they're naturally naturists. Another thing I like about this map too is you can use it for my upcoming future novels. I have a spin-off, The Princess of Aenya, where most of the action takes place up here in the north. And then a third book, which has yet to be written, which will take place down here in the south here. So in the south over here. So a lot of this is planned out. Another thing, what you can get from my site instead of my book is you can go to the store and you can buy Aenya-related artwork. Now, I have been commissioning these pieces of art for over 10 years. The reason I do it primarily is because I really love art, and because I think my stories visually, and I have these images kind of burned into my brain, and I really love to see these images that are in my skull finally get put on paper so I can actually see them. So for me, this is really exciting. So the first piece of artwork here is Thalana overlooking Hedonia. This is the same piece of art that's on the cover. It's done by an artist named Zengi Yu, very talented person. He was really great to work with. This shows more of the city. Unfortunately, a lot of this piece had to be cropped out. You can see the comparison there. It had to be cropped out to fit the dimensions of the book. So if you really like the cover and you want to make a piece of art out of it, I highly recommend you get this. Right now, you can get this for $10. It's a high quality print, and you can hang it on your wall or frame it or whatever you want to do with it. Another piece of art is by another artist, one of my favorite people to work with. His name is Alexei Lipatov. He lives in the Ukraine. And I was almost going to have this be the cover, but decided against it. I thought to go with a more painterly style, but I also really love this piece. This has a lot of amazing details. You can see the little fishing boats down here. Again, this is the city of Hedonia. You can see the large moon of infinity, which tells you that this is another world. This is not Earth. So there's a lot of little details, a lot of little secrets that are hidden in this picture. If you read the book and then you really look at this picture closely, you'll see there's a lot of really interesting details. So I think this is a beautiful piece. I think it's very evocative of what I was going for when I wrote the book, because you have civilization, and then you have this person, Solana, one of the main characters, kind of innocently coming upon, kind of discovering civilization. So it's great. The other piece I have now, this piece, if you are extremely sensitive to nudity, or you have children in the room and you feel that this will scar them, you might want to get them out of the room. But I don't think that this last piece of art is any worse than anything you would find in a museum in Europe. So without further ado, this is Xander and Thelana. And as you can see, they're naked. This is how they actually are most of the time in the book. They don't wear clothes. I think this is one of the things that makes my book stand out, is that I feel that I've created the first naked heroes since Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan and John Carter, both of which were naked in the books that he wrote back in 1912. But before that, more than that, I really, what I tried to do with these characters is to bring back the heroic nude from classical and Renaissance art. So anyone that's familiar with European museums will see that most of the Greek heroes, like Hercules, Perseus, Theseus, were depicted naked in statues and in painting. And the same is even true of biblical heroes. That's why, Michelangelo sculpted David naked, because it was just the way in which ancient people used to visualize their heroes as being naked. So I think, so in the same vein, I'm trying to do this for modern times. And there's a lot of different things that nudity represents in my book. It's not just, heroic nudity from ancient times, but there's a lot of naturist philosophy in there as well. I go into depth about the innocence of the human body, about the prejudice, about judging people based on their appearance, based on how they're dressed, about the connection that the symbolism of nudity, because there is, I feel, a strong connection between the naked human body and the natural world. So there's a lot going on, but it's also just kind of cool. It's a little titillating for some people, which I think is fine. But what I think is also important about this is that this is not a sexist representation of a character, because it's not just Alana that's naked in the book. The male hero is just as naked as she is, and just as shameless. And by the way, this is a piece by a Dutch artist named Frans Mensik. I think he did an incredible job. I think he did a great job depicting the heroes. They're naked, but they look strong and powerful and confident. They don't look like they have any reason to be ashamed. In part of the book, I talk about the Omarans' skin is like their armor, like they wear it into battle like armor. And it's not because they're superheroes, but it's because there's a strength in their beliefs. that there's nothing wrong with nakedness. It's a big part of their culture, and so they go confidently into battle, out into the world, without any sense of shame or fear of judgment. And I think there's a lot of power and beauty in that, and that's something that I wanted to express in my book, and I wanted to bring that back. And of course, you got to make your hero stand out in some way. So as you can see, Xander has his giant sword, Amoxis, that is explained in the story. He also has a really big scar, and there's a story behind that. And then also, Thalana uses a very special bow, and there's a story behind that. So if you want to get this piece of artwork, you can also get this, like the other pieces, $10 on my site. So that's pretty much it. I really hope that you guys go out and get the book, either from my site or from Amazon, either way. And I hope that if you enjoy it, you go to Amazon and you give it your review, a positive review, hopefully. If you also like it, please tell your friends, share it with people, give it to friends to read, tell them about it. Nowadays, struggling writers and artists and musicians really depend on the people to help us become known and to help get our work out there. I can't do it without you, and this is why, again, I would like to thank my beta readers, the people that have encouraged me to keep on writing, and I really hope that you guys reach out to me if you loved what you saw or were interested, or you got something, you're moved in some way by something that I wrote. If it changed some perspective that you had, I would love to hear from you. You can email me, you can find me on Twitter, you can leave a comment in my blog. If you go to my author site, nickalamotis.com, there's links to my blog and Aenya.net, and you can read all about Aenya. You can read about the world of Aenya and the backgrounds of the characters and sample chapters, and explore it as much as you can if you want to know more about it. And then, of course, if you're interested, great. I hope you buy it, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is launch day. I'm excited, and thanks for watching.